All right. The Caps played a back-to-back. That's 2 games in 2 days, and you know what that means. At least at this point, I would hope you know what that means. Caps win 6-3 over the Philadelphia Flyers, and hey, that was a pretty good game. I mean, it wasn't a perfect game, but it's still a pretty good game considering they're coming off of a loss 5-2 against Buffalo. But this game was interesting in my mind because it didn't feel like the win that it was. It didn't feel like a 6-3 win. It felt like a 3-1 with an empty net goal win. It felt closer than it actually was, even though it was a 3-goal game. But at the end of the day, no matter what it felt like, it doesn't matter because it ended up actually being a 6-3 win. And aside from giving away a goal in the last second of the first period, the boys actually put together a pretty good 60 minutes. But enough beating around the bush, let's actually talk about the game. First period starts, and it's an early power play for the Caps, and Ovi blast! That's right, Caps fans, Ovechkin gets on the board early in this one, and that is 729 goals. Marcel Dionne, we are coming for you, brother. And it looks like the Caps are going to carry a 1-0 lead into the first intermission, and then with 1 second left on the clock, the Flyers score. And this goal is purely because the Caps gave up playing. They quit playing with 3 seconds left, and that's 2 seconds to give the Flyers space to score, and they put one on the board with 1 second left. It's 1-1 going into the first intermission. And what a way to just deflate your team going into the locker room. Late goals and early goals, we all know, are big momentum shifters. You give up a goal with 1 second left in the period, odds are that team is going to come out swinging in the second period. But guess what? That's not what happened. 33 seconds into the second period, Orlov scores! You could call it a score-loff, a deflection off the defender in front and off of the pad of the goaltender line. It goes in, 2-1 Caps. And then this is where the laziness of the Caps comes into play. The Caps do really well of putting goals up on the board, but then they sit back and they get a little lazy, and this time it was lazy on a defensive line change. Really bad defensive line change. Gives it a 2-on-0 the other way. Van Riemsdyk works his way in. It's a Philly goal. It's 2-2. But then Bell gets called for hooking, and the Caps go back on the power play, and Ovechkin scores! That's 2 goals in the same game from the exact same spot. We would expect nothing less from Ovechkin at this point, and that is 730 goals, which is 1 away from tying Marcel Dionne 5th all time, and 2 away from taking 5th place all by himself. And now it's looking like the Caps want to actually play, and Wilson just makes an insane play off the half board. He draws like 3 guys to him on the left side half board. Everybody's looking at him. Here comes Kuznetsov down the middle. Wilson makes a beeline, backhanded blind pass to the center of the ice. Kuznetsov picks it up and just lays the softest goal up over the goaltender. Caps go up. Mantha ends up scoring an empty net goal. That's his 3rd goal in 3 games with the Washington Capitals. What a guy, Brian McClellan. You're looking like an absolute stud and an absolute genius right now. And the Caps win this one 6-3. Let's move on to Boston. Caps lose 6-3 against the Boston Bruins, and boy did this game piss me off. I think there comes a point in every fan's season where their perseverance as a fan is truly tested, where the mettle of being a fan is absolutely truly tested, and that was this game for me. What a what a bad game. Not necessarily like how the Caps played. That actually wasn't terrible. If you look at the stats were not very far in this game. The Caps actually played an okay game. Not as good as the Philly game, but I don't think as bad as the Buffalo game before that. This was an okay game that just had a shitty result because it's just bad to say at this point, but because of officiating. I know, that is a terrible fallback for a reason to lose, and I guess I'm not actually blaming the loss on that. It's really frustrating to watch a loss when the officiating was that bad. And at this point, are we just even surprised anymore? Tim Peel just ruined officiating in the NHL for everybody across the board. All fans, all teams, Everybody loses at this point. Let's just jump right into the thick of this, of the controversy and the crap that just played out in this game. I normally like to start at the beginning of the game and like kind of work my way through it, but at this point, the thick of it started towards the beginning of the game, so it kind of actually works out. 35 seconds in, Orlov gets called for a penalty. Thank God the PK has been definitely very good this season. I think at this point in time, they were second in the NHL. They might still be there, I haven't checked. But thank God that the penalty kill does not give me super high anxiety. Whoa, Brad, don't speak too fast. And then Eller takes a stick to the face and he's bleeding, but the play continues and there's actually a shot on net by Smith in that time. No hands are up, no arms, nobody to be seen officiating anything. He's just there on the ground because he wants to. What are you doing? At least they decided to review this one, and at least they got the call right eventually. But the fact that nobody saw that happen right in the middle of the play, that's a little scary. Anyway, Caps go on a 4-minute double minor power play. Boston scores shorthanded goal. Look, okay, the shorthanded goal pissed me off, yes, but this is where the national broadcast commentator, play-by-play announcer, and color commentator, they pissed me off so bad. They made Marchand, whatever he's calling himself these days, seem like a god in this play. They made him seem like the greatest hockey playmaker that has ever lived the game. What a great play by Marchand, and Marchand a great playmaker, and he does the impossible. It's amazing this, amazing that. The dude just slapped his stick at the puck and it gets a lucky bounce straight to Bergeron. Actually, you could argue that he threw his stick at that puck, which is not allowed, which is a penalty. So all of this should have been washed out in the first place, but all he did was slap his stick at the puck, and he doesn't even hold on to his stick. The puck bounces back towards the crease, right to Bergeron, who's streaking to the net. He slaps it in. Shorthanded goal, 1-0 Boston. And then just a little while later, it's a pass through the crease to Krejci, who is backdoor. All he has to do is just redirect that puck in. Vanacek had no chance on that one, except maybe if he poke checks it, which that would have been nice. And this was just a sign of the Caps being lazy again. Oshie doesn't cover his man. He is late getting to the crease. He doesn't pick up Krejci on that far side. He absolutely could have gotten back in time. He could have made the effort, but he stopped skating. And because of that, Krejci got open and he's left to all his devices just to redirect that puck in. A little more effort from Oshie there, and he's able to get a stick on stick or a stick on puck and probably prevent that goal. But it's 2-0 Boston. And just when it seems like the period is going to wind down and the Caps are going to take a 2-goal deficit to the locker room, Oshie decides to put effort into the game again. He muscles the puck off O'Reilly. He passes it up to Backstrom, who streaks into the zone. Great move by Backstrom to get around his defender. Shot, rebound, Oshie beats Riley again, this time to the crease into the puck, and he pokes it past Raz. The Caps get on the board late. It's 2-1. And you remember how I said earlier in the video about last game how late and early goals could really shift the momentum of a game? Well, that's exactly what happened. This late goal by the Caps gives them a jump start in the second period, and the Caps are able to put some more goals up. Clifton gets called for another double minor high sticking call, his second of the game, and we are only in the second period. When was the last time you saw one guy get 2 double minors? Not even just in a game, but in 2 periods. Anyway, Caps go back on the power play. Oshie from the bumper position. He's able to put it home with just a wicked shot. That's a fast shot. No goaltender is stopping that one. The Caps tie up the game at 2. And because they scored before the first penalty of the double minor was over, they get a whole nother 2-minute power play. And this time it's Anthony Mantha. He puts up his 4th goal in his 4th game with the Caps. I do believe that's record setting, by the way. I don't think anyone else has done that in franchise history. And what a great shot. He takes Backstrom's position on the second unit. He goes up to Orlov at the point. Orlov, he draws everyone to the center. Everyone thinks he's shooting that puck with that big slapper that he has up there, but no, he sends it right back to Mantha, who has all sorts of time and space. He makes a small lateral move to the middle of the ice. He picks a far side of the net and he just shoots it right there and he slides it in there. The Caps have just taken the lead with 3 unanswered goals. It's 3-2 Caps. And if you came here to celebrate Caps goals, well, thanks for stopping by and we'll see you next time, because that's all there is to celebrate this time. It then goes 4 unanswered goals for Boston, and they put this one away. Oh, it's just the rest of this game was just brutal to watch. This really ended up being a tough game for Karlsson. He gets beat to the puck, well, kind of beat to the puck on that first goal. That ends up bouncing back to Bergeron and pots it for the shorthanded goal. And then this goal, He loses his stick on the half board and he's not able to recover and get to the crease in time to cover his man. There's a couple shots on Vanacek and the rebounds end up coming over to Marchand, who, props to him, puts away just a really soft and sick backhanded shot. I mean, I complain about the dude a lot. I absolutely hate Marchand, but I mean, I would love to have him on my team at point because of goals like this, because of the soft hands and the grittiness that he has. He's like a small Tom Wilson. Can't quite hit as hard, but he really gets under your skin and he can score goals. So Marchand puts it away very softly, very cleanly to tie game 3-3. Krejci's able to score at the very, very, very end of a power play. Actually, I think the power play technically had just expired. It was a hold by Hathaway. He puts Boston up 4-3, and then Bergeron, he gets to score. This is a bad play by Carlson. Again, a bad game by Carlson. He makes a decision to pinch on the puck. He gets beat. Odd man rush the other way. Carlson gets back. He gets back in time to break up the play. Orlov breaks up the pass, and Carlson is back to take away he takes away the man, but he doesn't take away the right man. He doesn't take away the top man who is actually shooting the puck. He takes away the far side man in case the puck comes over to him, and just comedy of errors, and either way, the puck ends up in the back of the net by Bergeron. It's 5-3 Boston. And then we have an eventful third period. No goals in this period other than the empty net goal by Marchand at the very end of the game, but the highlights of this period were definitely around Tom Wilson and Garnet Hathaway, to say the least. Kuraly gets hit going down, and he goes down hard. And the first thing I hear by whatever dude's name was that was commentating this game, that was play-by-play calling this game for NHL and NBC, the first words out of his mouth are, "Let's see if there was any malintent by Wilson there." And that is a telltale sign of how every single person, not just in the league, but surrounding the game of hockey, views Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson does absolutely nothing wrong here. Admitted by Bruce Cassidy in a post-game interview, admitted by multiple people from the Bruins organization after the game, that Tom Wilson does not a single thing wrong here. But the first words out of this dude's mouth are, "We need to see if there was any malintent by Wilson." What are you talking about? You mean because Wilson was going to make a hit on the guy and he accidentally gets hurt, you mean that instantly says that there is a bad intent by Wilson there? That is just, this is why Tom Wilson is unfairly officiated in this league. Forever, for the rest of time, or at least for the rest of his career, he will never be properly officiated. And it's because of the views around him. It is a miracle that A, nothing was called on the ice for this play. They could even review that and they don't call anything. And B, that nothing was done by the Department of Player Safety, that the DOPS didn't even call a hearing for him. I was baffled. I mean, it's the right call, but I was baffled that they didn't call him. And then Bruins Nation, if you go look at Bruins Twitter or all the Bruins groups or all the people posting about the game from the Bruins fan base, they're all like, "Oh, what a dirty play by Wilson, and the Caps are the dirtiest organization in the league." What are you talking about? Literally, your team admitted it wasn't a dirty play. Shut up. And then Garnet Hathaway. Thénardier takes a face to the board from a small check by Garnet Hathaway. Let's be very clear about that. A very small check by Garnet Hathaway. And the only reason that he goes into the boards that he does is because when he sees Garnet coming at him, he turns his back. And turning your back at the last second is a big red flag to the Department of Player Safety for a reason that it should not be a suspendable or a fine or a whatever hit. It's something they look at. Did the player put himself in that vulnerable position at the last second? In this case, yes, he did. Even the NBC commentator said that. They literally looked at the replay and said, "Oh, it looks like Thénardier turned his back at the last second. That means it's not a penalty. He's already making the motion to make a hit when he sees his shoulder. And when you turn at the last second to see the numbers, you can't stop yourself. And boom, you go into the boards. It's Thénardier's fault that Thénardier took a face full of board and goes off the ice bloody. I mean, there was a lot of blood there. That was pretty nasty. But the problem here is that you can review that. So it works out earlier because that is a blatant non-call, right? High stick to Eller. nobody calls anything on the ice, blatant no call. They review it and they get it right. Here, the ref is standing right there looking at the play. He was with arm reach of that play. He saw everything and decided not to blow the whistle, decided not to call that. And then they stop play, they review it, and they not only gave him a 5-minute major, they gave him a 10-minute game misconduct. Are you kidding me? How do you go from no call on the ice to that? That is literally from the bottom to the top in a split second. That is just the most frustrating thing. That's literally all I have to say about this is how frustrating it is. The Department of Player Safety, thank God, doesn't give him a call, doesn't do any sort of review on it, because also that's contradictory, is it not? No call on the ice, review it, it's a 5-minute major and a 10-minute game misconduct. Doesn't that warrant some kind of call from the Department of Player Safety? That means that DOPS looked at it and they were like, nah, it's good, we don't need to call anything. Then why was there a call on the ice? Not even on the ice, it was in the review, but whatever. You know how this one ends. It's 6-3 off the empty net by Marchand, and this is crunch time, folks. And okay, it's a stressful time to be a Caps fan, I understand, but I have some words of encouragement for you. That's a complete lie. I have no words of encouragement for you. You have every right to be stressed right now as a fan, because this is a very stressful situation that the Washington Capitals have put us in. You have the Caps and the Islanders tied atop the division, tied in points atop the division, and we play the Islanders the next 3 games. Then right behind them, you have the Pittsburgh Penguins behind by 1 point. We play them the 2 games after the 3 games with the Islanders. Then right behind them, you have the Boston Bruins, who just beat you 6-3. And then right behind them, you have the New York Rangers, who you've had a very, very tough time beating this year. And then right behind them, you have the Philadelphia Flyers, who I'm considering the Flyers out of it at this point. They'd have to make a very, very good run in their last 10 games or 11 games, however many they have. I think it's 10. They'd have to have a great run in their last 10 games to make it into a playoff spot. I'm calling that out. But the Rangers, the Boston Bruins, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are nipping at your heels. There is no time to let up right now, and it is a tough final 3-4 weeks of the schedule. It is a tough last 10 games. There are 10 games left in this season, and it's not easy. If the Caps don't put, the next 5 games are going to decide the division. The next 5 games, whoever wins a majority of their next 5 games will be the division leader. It's 3 against the Islanders, who are tied with us, and the next 2 games after that are the Pittsburgh Penguins. We will know how the division will play out in 5 games. There will be 5 games left to play just to determine seeding at that point, who's going to play who. Me, if you ask me, I would much prefer to play the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round. I know that sounds very, very weird, but if I had to decide between Boston and the Islanders and Pittsburgh, I'm going with the Penguins. I know that we've done well against Boston earlier this season, but Boston is hot right now. They are not to be messed with. Let the Islanders and the Bruins duke it out in the first round. I would much rather play the Penguins, because I know we can beat the Penguins. I know we have the fire to beat the Penguins, and we can't even look that far at this point. We have to win multiple games against the Islanders, and we got to win a couple games against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it's not going to be easy, folks. So yeah, Caps fans, gird your loins. Next game is the Islanders Thursday night at 7 o'clock, and it starts the final stretch. We just had our 7th inning stretch. We had 3 days off. That was our last break. I hope the Caps got healthy. Chara, he had that really strong penalty kill last game where he got roughed up. He's had some time to rest. I hope Schultz has gotten his stuff sorted out. I hope Samsonov has gotten his stuff sorted out. We need everyone healthy. We need all hands on deck, because this is the final leg of the race, and it only gets harder from here. There's a lot more games after the season ends when it starts playoff time. But what do I know? I'm just a fan. Hey, if you like this video, smash that thumbs up button for me. It goes a long way towards helping the channel. And if you enjoyed your time here, consider subscribing to the channel. I'd love to see you come back. And as always, let's go Caps! And I hate NBC.